Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This recap is for August 18th, 2023 for Friday. Usual process I'll go through, which is to check the market breadth indicators I have. Also, I call it situational awareness. I'll make this short and sweet. All of my indicators are bearish. All of my market breadth indicators, both sets, are bearish. Momentum has turned bearish. It is bearish. I am now waiting to look for short entries. Let's check the market stocks. So here's your 8 stocks that make up the market and the total stock market index from Vanguard, the VTI. If you watched my previous videos, I said the momentum had turned bearish, and I'm looking for a bounce. And I'm thinking we're going to get one here next week. Apple is oversold. This has broke, and we have a reversal bullish candle today. Amazon opened down, closed higher, but still closed down for the day. These white candles means the stock opens lower, closes higher than the open, but is still negative for the day. But you can see with Amazon, it's riding the 50-day moving average here. 50 right here, bounces. 50 right here, then it has earnings. 50 right here, we'll see if it bounces. Google still holding up. Excuse me. Meta had 3 ugly days down and then kind of a reversal candle here. I'm thinking we could maybe bounce back up to the 10 or the 50 or the 20. And then I'll be looking to go short. Microsoft, kind of the same thing. Not as fast of a fall as the other stocks, but it's gone down and could potentially get a move up next week. Netflix, same thing. Reversal day. Nvidia hasn't broken down, might pop back up, try to get above the 20. Tesla's been the worst one out of the big 8, and trying to hold on to this 150-day moving average here. The VTI, total stock market index, has fallen, and then we've got a reversal day here with it closing positive. So I do feel we're going to get a bounce next week. After that rally or bounce is over, I'll be looking to go short, assuming my market breadth indicators stay bearish. Let's check the SPY weekly now that it's closed. The 5-week EMA is below the 10. The number of stocks above their 40-day moving average is only 32%. That is bearish. The RSI weekly has not fallen below 50. This is the only thing keeping me not going all in short. When this falls below 50, you're in a market that's bearish. You can see it here at the start of this 3 months of bearishness, and then pops back up for a few weeks and then falls right back down, and you get another 3 months of bearish action. You can see with the COVID drop, it just goes boom, and the RSI falls below 50, and then you get all that. Made a lot of money on this drop. This is what I'm looking for, or this is one of the things that lets me know market breadth or direction. I only want to trade either long or short when the wind is at my back. We're not completely bearish yet. I think if we get bounce and we get a lower high, that'll be the time to go bearish. Stoch is pointing down but still above 50. This is the weekly. VIX is at 17.3. It has not spiked above 20 or 25. That's the other thing I'm looking for, is a spike in the VIX over 20, the RSI weekly to fall under 50, and then I'm going to look for a setup to go short. Check the NASDAQ. COMPQX. There we go. NASDAQ is closed below the 5-week moving average. The 5 is below the 10. RSI is still above 50. MACD momentum is now negative. Check the total stock market index. Same thing as the SPY and the NASDAQ. Bearish price action. Right now we're just looking at a pullback in my opinion. We'll see what happens when we bounce. Check it on the daily. Stock market VTI index. The 10 EMA is below the 20 with price below the 10. That's bearish. Got kind of a reversal candle. We might pop up to the 20. What I'm looking for is to probably pop up to the 20 on these indexes and then move around a little bit or consolidate and drop. Or we can move up, consolidate, and go higher. And I'll let the market tell me that. I'll go long, I'll go short, but I want to see what's going on, what the market tells me to do. So right now I'm thinking we're going to get a bounce, but I'm not going to take it long. I'm just going to sit and wait till the market, and I'm going to trade with what the market breadth is telling me. And right now the market breadth is completely bearish. NASDAQ not as strong. Total stock market index closed positive. RSI 21 is below 50. This is something else I watch on the daily. I like to use a longer time frame, and this just establishes trend, right? And it does a pretty good job. I look at is the 10 EMA above the 20, and is the RSI 20? Excuse me, RSI 21 above 50. Here goes above 50, catches this move. 10 falls below the 20, RSI kind of stays around 50 and then drops here. Here, and then it goes back above, here on this bull run we just had for June and July. Falls below 50 now. I'm not going to take longs while this is going on. Let's check the scans now. I am going to go through my bullish power stock scan, even though the market breadth is bearish. Let me sort this. Yeah, we'll make it over here. Specialty chemicals. Good dollar volume. It's only a $2 stock. I'll pass. That's a day trader stock. STRL had a sell day here. Held the 10. Is not above the 5. I'd want it to get above both moving averages, consolidate, and look for a breakout. HKIT. This isn't a setup. APP holding. I'd want it to get above 40 before I'd look at a buy. Again, but not buying now because of the market breadth. AAOI, this is consolidating. If it pops above 15, that would be very bullish. CNX running, oil and gas, commodity stocks are the only thing that really looks strong right now, in my opinion. MMYT holding. Seadrill, oil and gas, holding. ACHR, this is an ugly trader, but grinding higher. Look how the moving averages are all in alignment. This is in an uptrend now. 5 is above the 10 is above the 20 above the 50 above the 100 above the 150 above the 200. Volume is increasing. Dollar volume's good. ADR is good. Let's check the weekly on this. Coming out of a big range, is in the power zone now. Just entered the power zone. This is a young uptrend. IPO within the last 3 years. I'll keep an eye on this one if the market breadth changes. CIX is my favorite stock right now. Consolidating, still above the 5. It's going to get choppy though for longs and shorts. IDYA, this is a great setup. If I would take this if the market breadth were bullish. A little bit higher volume than average. I like this setup though. That looks like you have a big up day, consolidate for a couple days, and then you have a range expansion. I would expect this to go and break out next trading day, but I don't trust the breadth right now. Wind is not in our back. PR, low ADR, I'd pass. AMR, this is coal. Similar to CEIX, right now we're up almost 11% on that run. Steel, I keep my eye on this one as well. US Steel, big pivot on big volume, goes from bearish to bullish now, and it's consolidating. I'd keep an eye on this one and look for a setup. This is not a setup yet. Yeti, that's an ugly trader. Not a lot of Tilray, that's a day trader stock. It's just something I watch. Not a lot of, big name stocks moving up. This is steel, nothing to see there. That's not a setup. It's not doing anything. Again, I've only got 58 stocks on my power scan right now. I usually have between 120 and 150. That's it. Let's check the IPOs. DBD still the strongest stock. Low dollar volume. Not sure what's going on with that one, but it doesn't really matter. AAOI, Carvana's back on the list. Carvana looks like it could bounce. Again, I would expect it to hit the 20 maybe, or the bottom of this support zone, and then fall back over. If it breaks out and gets, kind of above 50, that could be a sign that, we're going to go bullish. And then if the market breadth changes from bearish to bullish, I'd look for a breakout. Just sitting on the sidelines right now. Let's check the IPOs. SVV, low dollar volume. Pass. Low dollar volume. Pass. No strength in the IPOs. This list is stocks that have been out for less than 14 weeks. If they show any strength after that, they'll show up on my power scan. That's why I use this list. That's it. Nothing on the IPOs. Let's read the shorts now. Now that we're bearish, or the market breadth is bearish, I'll review my shorts list. XPO, I would have taken this short if I thought, you know, if the RSI weekly was below 50 and the VIX was spiking, but since it is not, I am sitting on the sidelines, have an update here, might get a little bounce, have a stop in above the high of this day, could bounce and then just roll over. If it rolls over, this is a great short because it's had a very high run. It's up 73%. One of my shorts criterias for my short scan is what I call the fall from grace. These high runners, they fall out of the weekly RSI power zone and then they start having pullbacks. And because they've run so much, they can fall quite a bit. But I don't trade these low float high movers. I look for liquid stocks. ELF broke yesterday, holding the 50, but that's a broken stock. BLDR, same thing, broke below the 50. That breaks the uptrend. You might get a bounce back up to the 20. It's got to get above all these moving averages again and consolidate and get a setup for me to want to buy something like that. I'm not going to play this bounce. I only trade the way that the market breadth is telling me to right now, which is bearish. I'm not a scalper. I know what I'm strong at. I know what I'm weak at. SMCI, again, I would look for this to maybe go back to the 20 if and when we bounce for all of these. Might get an aggressive 2 up days next week. And then, I don't know, crash with Jackson Hole and the Fed speak. I think that's Thursday. But I mean, these high flyers, they break below the 20. Let's check the weekly here. Yeah. Falls out of the power zone on the double top right here, and then falls below the 20. Then you get a range expansion to the downside. That's your short. Now what you can do, I do the exact opposite when I do the same thing when I'm short as I do when I'm long. When I'm in a position, I use the 5-day and the 10-day moving averages to sell me out or for me to cover. So this has fallen. We're still below the 5. No reason to cover yet. Could put a stop right above the 10, but you could definitely take some profits. I do take profits as the move goes in my favor, but to completely sell out needs to go back above these moving averages. I have 105 stocks on my short list, and only, I think it was 61 on the power stock scan. That's bearish in itself. Crypto is just fallen. Crypto stocks are weak right now. Mara, Riot, MSTR. Look at Upstart. That's a broken stock. Mara, just a fall from grace. How far is this? This is down 28%. This looks like a bounce. Big wedge through here. Very orderly downtrend. Could get a bump up to the 20 or the 50. I'm not going to play that though. I'm going to wait for a bearish setup. Tesla. See how these moving averages, the short-term ones, the 5, the 10, and the 20, all go into bearish alignment and then it falls. Same thing over here. The 5's above the 10, the 10's above the 20, and they come into alignment and you get a run. It's not, this isn't that complicated. What's complicated is keeping your emotions out and trading the system and trading the way of the market. If the market's going up or down. And if it's chopping around, stay out. A lot of bouncing. A lot of stocks look like they're going to bounce to me here. Snap. This looks like a bounce. Or is going to bounce. Kind of falling into this support zone here. Again, I would expect it to bounce up into the moving averages, and that's it. Coming to the end here. A lot of these stocks have fallen. I'm not seeing a lot of short setups, but I'm not going short yet either. So look at this. Inspire Medical. Let's check, see what it was doing during its run. Didn't quite get in the power zone during this run here. And then breaks the 20-day moving average. The 5 falls below the 10, the 10 falls below the 20. Then you get a range, hits the 100, then you get a range expansion to the downside. And look at this. It just, that's 25% down, and it never closes above the 5-day EMA. 5-day EMA is magic. Look at this, SEDG, SEDG, again. 10 falls below the 20, the 5 falls below the 10, price is below the 5. You get a drop, a range expansion, and then it falls. The market breadth, starts turning bearish, and you get 35% drop. It still has not closed above the 5-day EMA. But you should be taking profits through here, because it will get a pop, and you will lose some gains. Sell into strength. Let the market sell you out on the last piece, your last shares. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I hope everybody has a good weekend. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe.